Good morning. Welcome to the Barrel Roll Newscast for May 26, 2018.
Today we're talking about the Boba Fett movie.
Nintendo is selling a Switch bundle in Japan.
A World War Z video game's coming out.
Transformer 7 is getting a new date.
And Comcast is aiming for Fox. So there you go. Stick around. Hello, everybody!
Hi. Welcome.
Could have done that. Would have been like a down here. Welcome to the Barrel Roll Newscast.
We talk about news for movies and games and
other
everything.
geek stuff.
Things in between. Sometimes we do comics. Every once in a while we do comics.
Once in a blue moon.
Once in a blue moon. Every once in a while we also do sports. So, you know,
What's
like...
a sport?
Oh, no.
What's that?
Nothing to talk about.
Checkmate.
There's kind of things to talk about sports, but nothing like...
Madden 19 got a release date, so, you know, that signifies...
You mean Madden 19 is coming out?
Whoa.
A surprise.
No way.
Yes, they're not...
EA is releasing another sports game for one of their most popular sporting franchises.
Annual video game coming out this year. Surprise.
Surprise.
It's going to have big boxes.
Yeah. Whoa.
They'd still make money off of that.
Probably.
Yes. So
there you go.
Let's get this party started.
Cool.
So first bit of news we've found today.
Boba Fett is getting a movie. We kind of knew that already.
There were always rumblings between Boba Fett.
We're still
Obi-Wan.
waiting to hear that Ewan McGregor has been cast as, Obi-Wan Kenobi in an Obi-Wan Kenobi movie.
We need to get that movie.
That should have been the news that came out before
first
this.
And foremost.
But the Boba Fett movie has gotten a director. It's the guy who did Logan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So if anything, it's gonna be
very violent
and crying, and there's gonna be a kid. He's gonna save a kid, and then
Boba Fett.
I don't think he's gonna save a kid.
Now the big question, obviously, is we know nothing about the Boba Fett movie. Is it going to be between 3 and 4? Is it going to be one of those dicks, or is it after 6? And he
survives.
Everybody is totally on board with the movie opening and a hand just coming out of a Sarlacc.
I think that should be a post-credit sequence in like
Obi-Wan.
Well, I was gonna say the Solo movie or something weird, kooky, like time travel-y thing. It's weird enough as it's gonna be.
But that's what so yeah, it's found a director. So yeah, Logan, and he's done some other assorted action type stuff.
James Mangold, I think is his name.
Obviously, he cares about source material. Given Logan.
Yeah. He did a really good job of that.
He cared about the character.
Yeah.
He cared about the character. He did as much as he could under Fox's.
To be fair,
and the character-wise.
To be fair, my understanding of how Logan came about is a lot of it came from Hugh Jackman. Like, yes. I think this is how my character should go. I'm doing this. So it was a good collaboration between James and.
But I feel like if this guy's got the Lucas people obviously going like, okay, Boba Fett needs to
have a sad story.
Whatever it happens to be,
or make us feel.
They're gonna
have feelings about him.
Well, or make sure he's.
We don't have feelings for him.
Make sure he is. Yeah, make sure he's a badass. Is basically what it's got to be.
It has to be a pure action movie.
And the nice thing about the Boba Fett movie is it is a little bit more lackadaisy than something like the Solo movie, where very specific things have to happen. Solo can't be like character A.
By that logic, then I think that the only way to do this is to get him to survive the Sarlacc pit.
I think so.
That's the only way you make us care about.
Have the speeders fly off and he's
just
climbing.
That's the teaser trailer.
That could legitimately be the teaser trailer. Just desert, and it keeps kind of zooming in on something, and you're like, what's going on? What's going on? And all of a sudden,
the hand from the Sarlacc. It's Patterson Oswalt's dream come true.
Yeah,
still coming true.
Still working.
Still getting there. So close.
So yeah, like that's kind of part of it.
So my problem, I don't care so much about a Boba Fett movie.
Yeah.
I would rather have an Old Republic movie.
I think that'd be fun.
I think that would.
I don't think they're.
That would be way more interesting.
I don't think the Star Wars stories movies yet are ready for
a full-on lightsaber battle between.
Are ready for that. I think
though that if they want to do something fresh and something unique and different, that's what you do. We got a taste of it in the Clone Wars.
They'll go with the characters you recognize first.
Yeah, they're trying to do the Marvel thing where they're building it up, and then you'll get your Guardians of the Galaxy.
I don't know. You look at Rogue One. We didn't know. We barely knew.
We knew about them, though.
We knew about the mission, but we didn't know the characters.
No, we didn't know. But you knew about them and what they
were
doing,
really
and that's
heard,
enough to go
all the
off
general
of.
audience has heard about the Old Republic is the general weird crap that they threw in the prequels.
Maybe they're not. Maybe they just don't.
And I think that there's enough people who enjoyed those Old Republic games 1 and 2.
There are, but they're not enough of the general audience. Like, you got to ease the general audience into that kind of stuff. So it's a great idea.
But I think with Disney, they're willing to take risks. You look at Guardians. Look at Ant-Man.
But Guardians was a build-up. Ant-Man was a build-up.
I don't know.
Doctor Strange was a they weren't touching
you're gonna
for a very long time.
Build it because even after Rogue One, they want to do a movie with the female lead now. There was rumors of that, her getting her own spin-off movie.
I don't want spin-offs of spin-offs. That seems, when you photocopy a photocopy.
But you're expanding it in that way, though. You'd be expanding the universe.
You don't need to expand the universe.
Well, and we'll see what happens with these new movies that.
Rian
Johnson.
Yeah, the not Skywalker.
The not Skywalker trilogy, like his little offshoot of that kid with the broom, because it's clearly like.
That's where it's going to go.
Oh yeah. He was totally setting up his.
Or he sets up prequel to the prequels.
And that's where that's essentially.
That's where it would be.
But that's what I mean.
Old
like
Republic.
If you set it up properly, you're good to go. But yeah, I don't know. Boba Fett getting a movie.
Not as interested as I.
And that's my thing. It's kind of like look what happened with. You look at the Metroid series. We didn't get a lot of the Samus Aran stuff, so everybody in their head was like, "Oh, Samus is like this, total badass," and da 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 da. And then all of a sudden, they actually gave her a narrative where she spoke, and they had written dialogue for her, and they're like,
whiny.
And they're like, "Well, she's whining all the time, and she's like scared, and she's wimpy, and what the heck, man? Like, what did you do to our powerful female lead?"
Didn't they paint her to have PTSD?
They did. That was the whole point. Her parents were killed by a giant alien pterodactyl. You would also, I think, have some form of PTSD if you witnessed your parents die at the hands of
a giant pterodactyl.
Space pterodactyl.
Ridley.
Yeah. Based off of, the
Still not a playable character in Smash.
Which makes sense to me.
No.
He's a giant space pterodactyl.
Snake.
Not a space pterodactyl.
I'd still play as Ridley. I'd play it.
But yeah, that's the fear, I think, of everything is all we know really of Boba Fett from the movies is...
He was ruthless.
And
wants to kill
good at what he does.
And good at what he does, and that's all we know. So everybody's like, this would be that one movie where it would actually be beneficial for him not to take the mask off.
I'm not saying take the mask off.
And I mean, you get that with Deadpool, right? Most of Deadpool 1, before the stuff, he never took his mask off.
But yeah.
And
that's where even, I laughed thinking about Infinity Wars. They were very... once certain people are in space, they really didn't care anymore, and all of a sudden masks came off.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's like, oh, okay, we're actually showing actors' faces now. That's neato. Because then again, actors want to be seen. That's why they're in these movies. But,
yeah. Right.
So.
I'm just not interested in the Boba Fett movie. As cool as that character is, I don't need more of him. I think I've gotten what I need to know about him. Unless they want to do change his character. If they,
make him a good guy.
Post 6.
He learns to, after his near-death experience, he changes his ways and
don't mess with Jedi.
Donates his money and earnings and bounties.
It becomes like that Matt Damon movie where he shrinks himself. He goes on to do charity work and all that stuff. But that's the thing. All of a sudden, you go to watch this movie. There's no action at all. It's legitimately this.
He's starting
and he's still got a helmet on.
It's a love story.
He keeps
the helmet on.
It's a love story.
It's actually some weird twisted Robot Chicken movie.
But at least that's a promising director, at least, if anything.
Yeah.
He's not just gonna. He isn't gonna turn Boba Fett into a romantic comedy that makes no sense and that kind of stuff. So. But he won't. That's the thing.
No,
it's not like Solo, where all of a sudden, from what we heard, it was going in this completely off shoot
Arrested
direction.
Development.
It was
going to turn into Arrested Development. Actually, that would have been just as funny.
Well, but not Star Wars though. That's the problem. Like, and not Solo. So, because
all I can imagine is Ron Howard doing like random narrative.
Have you seen that trailer?
I've seen it, but I want to see that movie.
The whole movie with him doing it? Yeah.
I've seen that. That's where I saw. That's where I got that.
And again, one of my coworkers who went and saw the Solo movie said that Ron Howard, you can tell, saved that flick.
Good.
And it's like, well, it's good.
Yeah.
But they don't want to have to do that again, so I think that's why they're bringing
that was cutting. I feel like that movie cut it close.
I believe, in my mind, I'm with you. I'm sitting there going, like, they brought the director in, they went, Ron?
Last minute.
How much time do you need to turn this sucker around? And he's going,
I just finished wrapping Arrested Development Season 5, so...
/ also parts of Season 4 that I had to reshoot,
yes.
So, whatever. But I think for him... Like, that was probably the question was, can you turn this around in the amount of time? Or do we need to,
axe it?
Or do we need to postpone this film and give you more time to work on it?
I'm feeling a little bit of fatigue of movies lately, though. This summer has been...
This summer is very top... It's top-heavy.
It's very...
Especially after, the heaviness of Infinity War.
Yeah. Between that one and then going into Deadpool 2.
And Solo.
And then now Solo.
Yeah.
There's nothing really in June. Well,
there probably is.
Oh no, I can find out.
Doesn't the Rock fight a skyscraper?
I don't care.
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
No, it's not till July.
Yeah, but that's
not June.
We're saying there's nothing in June.
In June, yeah.
Oh, there's something in June. I can't remember what it is though.
Rampage 2. They must have popped that one out already.
It did.
Okay, so I would full on spoilers. I never watched Rampage, but I got the first sequence spoiled to me.
Yeah.
Apparently, the only connection it has to the arcade game is that there's an executive in some high level building who's getting an idea of we should totally I need to have a multi-million billion-dollar idea. He's playing an actual Rampage arcade machine and says, I should do this. And that's how the movie starts.
So
that's literally the
video game.
That's literally the connection to the rest of the movie. That's how that starts. It's like there's a Rampage arcade machine, and he's like, "Oh, I should totally do that."
It's a good thing I wasn't in that theater. Boo!
Lame.
Your movie's bad, and you should feel bad.
The only good parts are Dwayne Johnson.
Which is duh. That's just a given. But so yeah, Boba Fett getting a movie. I'm not
thrilled.
I don't know. It's a flick.
It's also worth noting this movie's probably not coming out until 2020.
That's fine.
Something. Either way, I'd like more news on an Obi-Wan movie more than anything.
I'm still hoping for an Old Republic movie. I feel like that's kooky enough and crazy enough that they could totally pull it off.
Yeah, they could.
If they market
not
it
right now.
If they market it right,
with
and
all
get people ready for it,
with all the if you go onto the Star Wars subreddits and all that stuff, people are very divided on even the Star Wars movies that are coming out now, and I think that's what they're trying to kind of settle. Marvel comes out with a movie, and everybody's like,
on board.
"Oh, Infinity War was amazing," and people are like, "Well, I had a couple issues with Infinity War, but overall, great flick."
Yeah.
That's what I think they're trying to do with Star Wars. They're trying to get that leveled off, which is why they brought J.J. Abrams back to do the third of this trilogy kind of thing, is to kind of okay, so everything that happens is going to come to an actual, we're going to wrap up stories and do this kind of stuff. And pretty little bow on top. There won't be another Death Star, we promise. Hopefully, let's see.
They have 2 Death Stars. 100 Death Stars.
And they all shoot it.
100 Death Stars fall into the universe.
And they have to go into one of them, or all 3
they
of them,
have to pick which one.
Data discs, and they'll all fire at each other.
Eventually, the universe gets smaller and smaller.
And they'll fall onto Washington, D.C. whatever planet the New Republic is building itself on, and then
Darkseid comes in and says, "This is my franchise now."
just do Captain America: Civil War, but as Star Wars movie.
100 Death Stars.
There's 3 Death Stars, and they have to
100 Death
shoot
Stars.
Each other.
Pew, pew, pew.
Literally, the universe explodes.
All they were trying to do was, take over, and then all of a sudden you find out that
they
were actually Hydra the whole time.
They were trying to unify the universe.
Yes, Hydra was in the.
That was the beginning of
Hydra was in the Republic,
and the explosions create the stones.
What? See, done. And Patton Oswalt has a giant orgasm somewhere because his dream comes true.
Yes.
yeah, either way, Boba Fett movie gets director. Exciting. Next up.
Moving on. Nintendo is selling a new Switch configuration in Japan.
Yeah.
Sans the dock.
And power supply.
Sans the dock and power supply makes sense. It's Japan.
That's how they sell all of their.
Nintendo's very much like once you've purchased the first one, you don't need to have a second adapter, and that makes sense.
And to be fair with the Switch, it's USB Type-C.
It's very universal now.
Click
like
done.
90, like all modern phones have that. A lot of modern laptops use that as a power source now, and so that saves cost as well.
So yeah, a cheaper Switch.
Cheaper Switch minus the dock.
Which to me is starting to go because they said they're not getting rid of the 3DS until they've got a Switch in everybody's hand, not in every household, but in So like our household has, everybody has a 3DS.
Yep.
I see this as if they actually start bringing this over here, I can see this for my significant other.
Sure, I would get that, especially with Pokemon coming out.
She would play it for Pokemon.
Yeah.
She doesn't need to play it on a
TV.
So,
and we know a dock is what, $80 US?
Yeah. It drops it quite a bit.
Because you can...
So $320-ish?
So yeah,
that AC adapter is it's no slouch either.
And
it's a pretty heavy.
They're usually $15 to $20 for those things too. So there's like $100 and some off the Switch.
So how much is it? How are they selling? How much is it in Japan now then with this discount?
I'm not sure if they have it actually.
Because in Canadian it's about $300. I can see this being sold for about $250.
No,
I can see it being
shipping and that. Trying to get it over here.
Well, no. If they end up bringing it over this configuration here. I can see it being done like $250.
I say $300.
The new Switch package costs $229.
$229.
Down from $275.
So I can see it being $250 here.
Wait, and
$300.
And again,
it's already $300 here.
It's $400.
Is it $400? Is it $400?
Yeah.
Okay, so then $350 then. Yeah.
You're only gonna drop in $50.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't know.
I
say $300.
When the 3DS dropped its power supply, it didn't drop the price.
So it's still say $400 for a Switch.
So this is already minus the dock, so that's why you're getting a little bit of that.
But that was the new 3DS that also came with the power supply.
Right.
So that's why they kept the price up, because it was new. This will just still be Switch. So yeah, but I think if the dock's $80,
I say $300.
And $300's a good price point.
It is a good. That's something to announce at E3.
Yeah, the handheld.
They won't announce it.
They might.
I can see that.
With Pokemon coming out.
I could totally see them like starting the presentation with that.
With Pokemon coming out, I think that's a good time to go like, oh look, you can buy it just as a handheld with these special Pikachu Joy-Cons.
Oh, get wrecked, Nintendo! Yeah, I'd buy it.
Or like a red and a white one with little Pokeballs on the side.
I've been suggesting that for eons.
But I'm just saying that's
I
the
prefer
perfect
the
way.
yellow.
But I'm just saying that's the perfect way to do it. Is all of a sudden you have. Pokemon Joy-Cons, no dock.
They did it with Mario and Splatoon already. I'm actually surprised they did not do it with Zelda.
Yeah, gold
Too
ones or
early.
something.
Gold Joy-Cons, that would have sold like gangbusters.
But that's right. So all of a sudden they drop the price either $50 to $100, somewhere in that range, and then you sit there going like, "Oh, you Pokemon people like that don't want a home console because you're idiots." Like,
I don't. Yeah, they just say that this is a different option for you to. Also,
or if again you already have one,
or it comes bundled with Pokemon.
Sure.
Without the dock, keep the price the same.
Yeah.
$100 game.
Yeah.
Yep.
But that's the thing. So all of a sudden, people who already have a Switch and are gonna get, are sitting there going, man, it'd be nice to have another one to do that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. You can sit there going, oh yeah, now I'll jump back in because I can save myself some money because I have 800 USB Type-C adapters at the house. I have one dock.
I still can't see myself having more than one myself. Like I'm not.
No, I'm not gonna buy another Switch for me.
But
until the new Switch comes out in 5 years. Because that's what they'll do if this is their
that was another piece of thing we didn't put on Sony.
Yeah, it's at the end of its life cycle.
Talking about the PlayStation 4 being close to it at the end of its life cycle.
That's a stupid announcement to ever make.
That's a dumb, especially at the start of E3.
Yep.
That is
Look at all these new games we have coming out, and the PlayStation 5 tomorrow.
They said they were going to focus more on exclusives,
right?
Because it's near the end of its cycle.
And that's a good way to spin that. They also mentioned that it won't be like the next PlayStation is minimum 3 years away. Minimum.
So that's not that. Yeah.
No.
So no, you don't.
Yeah.
It's on its last cycle. I think is what they mentioned.
Couple years. A few years.
Yeah, but that makes sense. It's been out for how many years now?
Yeah. The Pro came out about a year ago.
Yeah. Well, the Pro was really just...
the Pro is actually not half
souped up.
Yeah. Minor souped up.
Yeah.
Still doesn't do UHD.
But it's like they took it into the garage, they tweaked it a little, and they're like, yeah, why not?
Slapped some more RAM into it, made it a little taller.
Got some adjustments done. So I think this is a good way of selling the Switch. I think this is
I can see that.
This is going to get your hand
on
people.
I'd be interested to see what their 3DS game plan is for E3. Honestly, I'd like to see what they have plans. If they
Detective Pikachu?
They've already pushed that out.
Is that already out?
It's already out. It's been out. I've just been lazy and playing God of War and haven't played it yet.
I think, though, for the 3DS, we're going to get like a 3-minute trailer of...
something remastered.
The sizzle reel of the big games that are coming out for it.
Yeah, I mean, you still have
Luigi's Mansion.
You have WarioWare, you have Luigi's Mansion, you've got
Sushido game.
I really do want to play that.
But it's coming out on the Switch.
I want to play it on the Switch. I think WarioWare will be the big piece for them this year.
If they're doing 3D. I think
or some, like, unannounced...
I think you're getting a sizzle reel, and they're calling it a day.
Something remastered.
Because they've got Pokemon that we know they're going to show off in some way, shape, or form. If we just get, like...
I think they need to announce it. They don't need to talk about
even if we just get, like...
Get the logo. Give us the logo.
The logo, and maybe a name.
Yeah, the logo and the name, yeah. Like, that's what they do.
Yeah.
And then just tease
We're going to get Smash Bros.
Well, that's...
Star Fox Racing, apparently.
Yeah,
I'm still
Grand
okay
Prix.
with that. I'm still super okay with that.
I have to wait and see. Like, in all honesty, I have to wait and see.
Probably not.
I'm putting all my eggs in that dumb basket. This sounds amazing.
I just want a Star Fox game. Like, that's my thing. As I sit there going, as much as people hated Star Fox Adventures.
Which one was that one? The GameCube
where
one?
they're out of the ship.
Where you're out of the ship with the stick and the whole, like, the dinosaur.
I don't know. That was a fresh taste.
I thought it was. It was a fresh take. I think you take the stick away. You give him a damn gun. You make it a third-person shooter where you actually...
he goes into his ship.
He actually gets into his ship and has to shoot things.
Make an open-world Switch game.
It's something bigger like that, yeah.
Like last open-world game on the Switch did not perform particularly well.
Which?
Lego City Undercover. It didn't.
Yeah.
It had some issues apparently on the Switch. Ports.
Yeah, but that's
okay.
People porting stuff over. It's the same with Lego World. Same thing happened. Was they're like too many things trying to do at once, and they didn't optimize it properly. Because then you get something like Breath of the Wild, where
it is optimized properly.
Yeah.
They also took their time with it for how many years?
Right. So that's why like a well-built Star Fox game I think could be killer. And I don't know. And their problem with racing now is where do they go from Mario Kart 8? That's where they're
Star Fox Grand Prix.
Yeah.
I feel that I'm super okay.
Featuring Captain Falcon.
10 out of 10. Pre-order bonus. Pre-order bonus. Get your Captain Falcon skin and ship.
Like if it's legitimately just Star Fox, but you're racing around and you can still shoot people, you've got a different kind of game. But the last time they tried to veer off from Mario Kart was that Kirby Air Rider game.
What about Diddy Kong? I mean, I know that was rare.
Ages ago.
I know that was rare too, but I mean,
that was 800 years ago. The last time was Kirby's Air Ride, which was junk.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
And the reason Diddy Kong worked was because you were in a cart or a plane or a hovercraft going around in a circle.
That's kind of like what Star Fox is.
But that's my thing is,
but in space.
Mario Kart did the underwater, the cart, and the glidey thingy, and it's like, cool. We're good. If you want to play in a plane, you can play the Sonic one. All Stars, like, transform. So that's my thing is, like, they're going to attach some weird gimmick to it because it's Nintendo.
Yeah.
And that part's going to be what potentially
fine with
kills
open world Star Fox.
I mean, it's something, or even, like, a really well done, third-person shooter that, again, to get from different stage to different stage you're running back to your ring, hopping in and...
Yeah.
Or do the mission thing. Like, you get big missions, but in between those, it's like, we have to get to this planet. Oh, we're under attack, Fox, get out there! Dog fights and all that kind of,
100 Star Foxes.
Assault tried Assault tried really good at that, too.
I was okay with that
Their problem was, outside the ship, Star Fox still controlled, like, a spaceship. So Fox McCloud still, like, you still had to aim and move and do all these weird things like you were in the ship, and it just didn't feel natural. And you were like, they screwed up on that control. Otherwise, that game was spot on. Because you're literally in the middle of a dogfight, and they're like, you have to get into this thing and disable these. So you take your ship and you legit have to land inside of a.
I wonder how that game would feel like with multiplayer. Not like 100-player multiplayer, but like
just Battle Royale.
Like a co-op.
Just co-op.
Yeah, like how would that feel?
Starfox Battle Royale.
Co-op.
Battle Royale.
Starfox Royale.
Build your own character.
Yeah.
All the furries.
Oh my god! And then there's like loot boxes.
Whatever animal you want.
But you could essentially Fox.
I'm just
Fox
making I'm just making Slippy.
That's what most people are going to do. There's going to be all these frogs. It's going to be like, Fox, help me, Fox!
So yes, Nintendo doing Switch stuff.
I think it's a good. I think it's a good move.
It's very,
and especially with Pokemon coming up.
This makes it much more affordable.
And selling it as a handheld as opposed to the. So now you've got the two options. It's like Switch handheld, mode, or
pick up the dog.
And once you've played it enough on handheld, and they only drop at $50, now you got to go buy a dock for $80.
And here's the
hey.
Here's the thing: like, do they gear up for a new and improved slimmer dock with this?
No.
Like they're not. They obviously don't bundle it in, but like, is that part of their plan? Do you think? I could see them trying to get into a piece of that market with.
Everybody making better docks than they are?
No, they're actually not that good.
I know.
The only one that's actually seen any success is the Insignia one, and that's like a third-party branded Best Buy dock. The Nyko ones have actually been exploding.
I know. The only dock, like I have that portable one, because on tabletop, it's essentially like improved tabletop mode, so you can plug it in from the bottom.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason I bought that dock was some airplanes now have like all the USB charge it, like you can actually charge stuff. Mm-hmm. So that's why I bought it, because I'm sitting there going like, I can be like the commercial and pop up the little thing and like,
I tried
on the
that.
tray
it's
table.
Incredibly
It worked.
It works for about 5 seconds for me, anyways, because I'm bigger.
That $10 dock, or whatever I bought it for, that slides up and does this and props it, and you can change the angle. Mm-hmm. You can also plug it in. So if you're on a plane for 4 hours, you can actually
worst case scenario, you can plug it into a battery pack too.
And I can actually, I've got my battery pack with me, but I can still plug it in on tabletop mode. That was the worst. That was the worst engineering part of the entire Switch, was plug in at the bottom for tabletop mode.
I'm actually really surprised there's no magnetic charging piece on the Nintendo Switch.
It's almost surprising too.
That seems like everyone kind of goes towards that direction. I don't get me wrong, I like Type-C as a format. Everything is Type-C, so. I
think it's more of for the dock to charge that way and then display the video and all that junk is why they had to Type-C, which is fine. Maybe they should have put another one on top.
Woulda, shoulda, coulda.
Woulda, shoulda, coulda, whatever.
Wireless
it still works.
charging.
I'm happy with my Switch.
Wireless charging.
But yeah, for those people who want Pokemon but don't want to play it on their TVs, because again,
I would.
I don't play a lot of Switch on my TV, but when I do, I'm always like, I should do this more often.
I do Escapist with you guys on the TV.
Yep, me too.
Yeah, I plugged it into this one because I still Discord through the computer.
Mm-hmm.
So my computer's on that screen and the Escapist's on
that
screen. So either way, moving on.
You put this on our docket. I didn't quite. I never saw it.
I didn't see the trailer for it.
I didn't see
They've just released gameplay footage for the World War Z. World War Z game.
Is it Brad Pitt in it?
Nope.
Not interested.
Now.
That's what will get you interested.
Have you?
To be fair, none of it.
He does not flip pancakes. He's not. No.
To be fair, none of that series really interests me.
So
the
book.
I heard the books. The
books.
I heard the books are good.
The book is killer. So I have read it now, and I'm halfway through the audiobook.
Yeah.
And again, the audiobook, like Simon Pegg, Nathan Fillion, all those guys.
I need to get to that one.
Honestly, that is a good read.
Audible.
Because the whole piece, or it's pretty cheap on Google Play Books. They do audiobooks now. And you can get your first audiobook for 50% off or something stupid, so it's not a bad buy for that kind of thing. But the great thing about World War Z was it was this documentary telling of this thing that happened to the world, and it kind of just crept up.
A whole bunch of different characters.
Yes, all from different jobs, doing different things.
Different countries.
How different countries reacted to this plague. But essentially, Brooks, what's his first name?
Max.
Max Brooks, thank you. I'm like, it's not Mel.
No.
Very different.
That's his dad. Max Brooks in the Zombie Survival Guide and World War Z is more or less zombies walk. They do not run.
Yep.
If they run, they're not a zombie.
They're persistent, but they're not fast.
And the whole shtick was Canada, like in Edmonton, we'd be actually pretty good. Because
you're in winter.
Winter, because the whole shtick is their blood starts to freeze. Well, one of the first scenes that they show in the gameplay footage for the game is a bunch of people in snowy weather setting up a camp ready to, like, defend themselves. And I'm going like...
That's not...
All right, that's not how that works.
But the zombies should be according to the source.
Maybe it's not cold enough.
Okay, so that's fine. Then guess what? A horde of zombies runs over like all of the buildings.
Yeah,
because they're taking it off the movies.
They're going off.
They are going off the movies.
Which is unfortunate because again, you could do a very cool narrative game based on the books, or something based off the books. Because like part of even the part that Nathan Fillion reads in the book, he's a Canadian special ops kind of guy.
Yeah. And
they're going through this drug den. And everybody's dead. And they don't quite know what's going on because some people have been bitten and some, like, you know, people are missing body parts and that kind of thing. It could lend itself really well to that kind of horror genre, like even Resident Evil 7 kind of ended up being where it's more the jump scares and the like, you know, you look down the stairs and there's nothing there, so you close the door and you hear like a you know, and open it back up and something jumps at you. His whole section of the book is essentially like he's going through and he finally finds like this wall and there's a collapsed guy and he's like, oh my god, like, are you okay? And all of a sudden the thing just like, you know, crushed from the waist down by boulders, grabs at him and tries to, you know, and he's the only one there and da-da-da-da-da-da. Like, I feel there's a I feel there's a better game in there as opposed to
run-in zombies.
A tower defense game with zombies.
Is it tower defense?
It's essentially, yeah, that's what it's like.
I never watched the trailer. I'm like, as soon as I saw it,
that sounds fun though.
It's a third person.
Taken away from the World War Z aspect, I feel like that would be.
It looks like Left 4 Dead. But
I was gonna say, hey, maybe
more
like
serious tone to it.
Or Fortnite.
Yes, it looks like a more realistic Left 4 Dead / Fortnite kind of thing. Because it is. It's third person. Your guy's sitting there with like his axe, like ready to go. But all of a sudden, there's turrets, and you're like trying to mow down zombies as they're running.
Which we found out in the movies that didn't work.
Right.
They just climb on top of each other.
Yes.
Yes, they
make it.
You shoot them all you want. They were still climbing.
Well, and that was the shtick even in the book. Like.
But they were slow.
They were slow, but people would like throw them overboard, so people would sneak onto boats as they're escaping, and then they're like, "Oh, you're infected." They'd throw them off. Well, they're not dead. Now they're just underwater. So people in boats were like, "Oh, I'm safe," and all of a sudden, like zombies are like, "Hello!"
In a lake. I think I remember that chapter.
Yeah, like there's people talking about trying to escape, and all of a sudden, zombies are just like, "Hello there, boat people. How's it going? Come with us." Are you a mermaid?
In the oocean, it'd be fine.
You and I differ greatly.
Well, no.
But they can still walk. Like that was the shtick.
But the ocean would be so far down.
They would, but that was part of it when they.
So your plan is just to drop all the zombies down the Marianas Trench.
But that was part of the talk was eventually, like that's why they were still fighting some zombies because every once in a while they still wash up on beaches essentially.
Yeah,
so,
that's well. I mean, it's disappointing with that fast paced.
And that was my biggest piece.
I think that doesn't sell. That doesn't sell games. Though.
Slow paced.
I don't know.
If you're making an action game, it doesn't sell.
What's the
Walking Dead?
Nope.
Other action
game?
The
Capcom one.
Oh,
Dead Rising. They were slow.
Yeah, but that was a different...
There was lots of them.
Yeah, that's...
But there's lots of them in this game. Like, that's the killer part is you watch
There's lots and there's fast.
There's lots and they're fast. So now
I think they ended up being fast evenly.
I don't know. I haven't
Dead Rising.
I have all the other Dead
Rising.
They
weren't.
Dead Rising.
Even the newest one?
They were slow.
Even the newest one?
I played up to 2.
No, it's 4, dude.
They're at 4 now. I have 3 on my computer that I still haven't played. But that's what I mean. Like, I actually dug the, hordes and hordes of zombies.
And I think from a technical perspective back then, it was like, holy shit, there's like hundreds of zombies, and my game is not even phased.
And now they're throwing them in. It's like, now there's like 1,000 zombies, but they're all running at you. And I'm like, I feel like that game's just going to get overrun with just me going like, ah!
I'm sorry, if you throw me into that kind of a game, I also expect an equal amount of gameplay out of that with giving me a katana and just kind of going buck wild on them.
Not the way they're moving.
Not,
You're going to get one swing and then they swarm you.
That's okay. That's why you have like 3 other people with katanas.
It doesn't. Okay, once again, one swing, you're getting swarmed.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the problem. That's kind of my problem with that one. There's other ways of doing a World War Z game, so it's unfortunate you said, that they're following.
Have it story-based.
I think you do chapter-based stuff.
I'm trying to think of what type of game, how you would go at it, though.
Battlefield did a really good job in the last Battlefield game of doing, like the World War I one, where they sent you to different, like, places to do war. So each time you were a different character.
Oh, that way. Oh, that stuff. Well, I thought you meant, like, they were zombies in Battlefield 1?
But
that's a Call of Duty thing.
Yeah.
But do that kind of story mode where, select which mission you want to pretty much play.
Yeah. The world is in chaos already.
And maybe one mission, you're a doctor and legit have, a handgun with a finite amount of bullets, and
it becomes an actual survival.
Scalpel.
Your thing is more to get to certain people and investigate something while running away from, dangers and that kind of shtick. Instead of... I think there's a better narrative game to make there. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like the budget's that big, and it doesn't look,
Oh, we also... Speaking of zombie stuff, we forgot about Resident Evil 7.
Oh, yes!
That was the big...
We can talk about that now.
Random-ass Japanese release. Okay, so...
Would you like to play Resident Evil 7 on your Switch?
You sure as heck can in Japan.
But only by streaming the game.
So they have released a...
Definitely no.
So, okay, so what they did... And this is actually not new for Resident Evil. They did it with another game as well.
This is not new for Capcom in Japan.
No, but not new for Japan.
Yes.
So, it's called Resident Evil 7 Cloud Edition. And it is, essentially you download a streaming software onto your Switch, and you play Resident Evil 7 on the cloud.
No, thank you.
But it works well in Japan from what I can hear.
Well, because their infrastructure there for online.
Infrastructure over there is amazing,
awesome.
But for us, if we try to get it here, you get 10 minutes of gameplay, and it says, oh, goodbye.
the only way I play Resident Evil 7 is if I get a VR system.
Oh, yeah, and of course.
And you're pooping yourself in the basement?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll just play on the toilet. It's safer this way.
Everything's already in position.
My pants are already off.
Yeah.
My pants
Don't have to wear brown pants because I'm not wearing pants. I can just sit on the toilet and be happy.
Pretty much. That's the only way I'm playing Resident Evil 7.
But yeah, like the other game that they released via this cloud system is Phantasy Star Online 2.
Yes.
PSO2 in Japan also has a cloud edition.
Yeah.
Where I've also been told that that's an amazing port. Well, being a cloud version.
Now the cool thing is the Switch can do that, which means we can get really killer-looking games, because Resident Evil 7 is a killer.
It's one of the best-looking games of this generation. Yeah.
But the fact that we can get a game like that running on the Switch is cool.
I think
it just has to be not from the Switch hardware, essentially.
A big piece of it also has to do with Capcom not realizing how big the Switch was going to be, and so they didn't actually put any eggs into that basket. Or else we would have seen Monster Hunter by now on the Switch.
Oh, easily.
We would have seen Monster Hunter. We would have seen maybe even Resident Evil 7.
Yeah.
We could have seen Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.
What were they saying? Something about, like, there is a downgraded version of Resident Evil 7 that does play on other stuff. Mm-hmm. And they're like, those graphics would easily work on a Switch. And no one would be mad because they're sitting there going, again, it's like any of these other games that come out.
It's a cross
They don't look that great, but I can take it with me. The whole thing to this cloud one is now I'm tethering to my phone to play a game that's eating my data like nobody's business.
And again, it's a very different culture in Japan. Like,
totally.
Everyone's got like
in Japan.
Everyone has unlimited data in Japan, basically.
Sure.
And so Wi-Fi is everywhere and consistent and stable.
Yeah.
So for them to do that Switch stuff makes sense.
Yeah, for them to do it, totally. For us, it's not a viable option.
No.
Because someone's like, would you get Resident Evil 7 on your Switch if you pretty much had to stay at home to play it? And I'm like, no, because I have it on the PC. I'm done.
Yeah, like I don't as nice as my.
You can get it on your PlayStation 4. Yeah, like.
And on top of that, like, what kind of bit rate is it going to be? Like, if I'm streaming it to my, like, on a cellular phone. I only have like 3 or 4 down when I tether a phone or my phone to a device.
Yeah.
Would that even be enough to support Resident Evil 7 or even PSO2 for that matter?
Right.
Like, and I know that PSO2 does a bandwidth cap where if it actually checks what your speed is every once in a while and says like, oh, you're not within the threshold. Goodbye. We're gonna kick you out.
The wall. Pancake.
What?
You're good.
But yeah, it checks for your speed, so it actually will kick you.
But that makes sense for something like Phantasy Star Online for sure,
because it's not only an online game, but
it's
like
online
multiplayer game.
Yeah.
But yeah, Resident Evil 7 Cloud Edition.
Yes.
I like that. I like the idea of it. I don't know that it would fly here.
Not here.
It wouldn't fly here. I like the idea, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? Honestly, if someone offered it as a service, I'm not going to be like, that's stupid. I might not get it.
Which is funny because this also leads into the Steam Link app. Everyone's kind of been hyping that the past couple weeks.
And the Apple Store doesn't.
And the Apple Store denied it, yeah.
Yeah, the Apple Store is the only software right now that it's like, no. And whereas Android, you can kind of go buck wild.
I have my Steam Link. I love my Steam Link. I was actually telling that, I think I was talking to Brian the other day when we were playing. And I'm like, I should really set that back up because anything that has any kind of controller support, like with the Steam controller, or any other controller, because it's got USB attachments to it, I can literally plug a Steam Link, it's almost the size of the Raspberry Pi, into my computer upstairs, runs the games off my computer, and just pretty much streams them to my TV. And it's like, I can play City Skylines like sitting in bed. You can play Resident Evil 7 sitting in, like, a living room instead of...
As long as it's within the network connection here.
Yeah, as long as it's within the house. So.
No, it's not a toilet.
No. Poop the bed?
Yeah.
Well, you're going to have a different...
No.
You have a bad time.
A very bad time.
Things wash, it's fine.
You got to put a protective thing over your...
Yeah, plastic wrap the bed.
A poop shield.
Poop shield. Poop shield the
go.
bed.
Hashtag poop shield.
Next up.
Moving on. Transformers 7.
They've already made that many of these movies.
Well, they were gonna.
6.
They were gonna.
They were gonna. Now what happened?
Yeah.
Well, Paramount has decided to remove Transformers 7 off of their timetables, off the production schedule.
Are they counting the Bumblebee movie, maybe?
No.
I don't know.
Shia LaBeouf movies.
Oh yeah, that's still a movie. Is that movie's still coming out?
Wahlberg got 2, didn't he?
5, 6.
He only got 2, so we're 6.
Still coming out.
Maybe it's the Bumblebee one then. Maybe it's the Bumblebee one because that one they're done filming that.
Yeah, they've finished. It's at that point where it's gotta come out.
Yeah, no, that's
also it's probably not crazy difficult at this point for them to shoot human actors doing like this. And they just put in really expensive toys afterwards.
Yes.
Really expensive toy commercial.
Well, and again, that's all the Transformers is supposed to be, but make me actually want to buy the damn toys.
Lately, they have not been.
Do you want to see? Off a trailer, I want to buy a bunch of stuffed animals, like that Christopher Robin trailer came out. The second one.
Well, then you look at the Last Jedi.
Sure.
You bought whatever that Porg.
I got Porg. That sure. I have Porg. I have all sorts of Porg junk, but like I'm sitting there and I watched that Christopher Robin trailer that came out. And I sent a couple pictures to my wife over text message because I'm like, oh my god, like, the first trailer they showed just had,
just
Pooh Bear.
A touch.
It just had Pooh Bear, and I'm like, oh man, they've done such a good job with Pooh Bear. He looks like, a cross between the actual cartoon and the old stuffed animal. But now you've seen Eeyore and Piglet and Tigger, and I'm like, oh my god, I must have them. And
it's crazy.
It's
crazy to look at that trailer and go, it's either really, really good CGI or really, really good stop motion.
Yeah, I know. They've done a killer job.
It's either or.
Yep.
Either or is like
CGI.
It's CG.
It is CG, but like you look
the fact that you can't quite
tell that it's CG.
The fact that you're still questioning it.
It almost could be stop motion.
Is the bonus to at least the trailers. Like that's the first trailer had me because I'm like Christopher Robin has a breakdown. Like that is the movie I'm going to see.
And I don't know if it's
I was kind of okay with that
anymore.
And then the second one is legitimately there's other people that can see that move, and I'm like, oh, now I'm in. Like the 100-Acre Woods are legit coming out. Like
also, I'm really glad that Hilly Atwell's still on Disney's payroll.
Yeah, I know.
And
well, this one's like, so you mean Obi-Wan and Agent Carter in a movie together?
This
is Winnie the Pooh? Like,
is Christopher Robin the person she marries? It's literally
try and compete with that.
Oh, cross-platform, Damn Thanos.
But I
reality stone.
That trailer got me to the point where I'm sitting there going, like, my wife and I took the dog for a walk, and I'm sitting there going, I hope they come out with those stuffed animals because I will.
They have not yet. I want them all.
Well, and they won't until the movie comes way closer. Mm-hmm. But I'm sitting there going, like, I will buy them all. And she's like, what? And I'm like, those animals in any kind of room, and I mean, again, if you've seen my house, it's Disney. Like,
yes. Just a little bit.
We had a large gathering of people come over, and there were kids that did not want to leave. So
that's a good sign, though.
But that's what I mean. So we had people over, and it's like, oh my, like Mickey here, Mickey there, Mickey there, and I'm not a huge Winnie the Pooh guy.
I'm a big Winnie the Pooh guy.
Because in my household, it was like you were Mickey Mouse or Winnie the Pooh, apparently. But
you can have both.
You can, and in my mind now, those, if I can get that collection of animals, will be like a serious collection.
It's weird to think that you need to get all of them or none of them at all. Because it's weird to just have one.
See, and the problem is, like, we collected that stuff for my nephew. We had, like, we got him Eeyore. You know, like, when we went shopping and we're like, oh, well, we'll get him Pooh Bear. And I'm like, but the best one's Eeyore, like, because Eeyore's my man.
No, man, we need a Pooh.
Piglet. And then so we also got him Piglet, because now we were just on a, I'm like, he shall own the 100-acre woods. We found Roo in Disneyland when we were there, but Kanga's not available, Rabbit's not a thing, Owl's not a thing. Like, they don't make those plushies on a regular basis.
Now they might.
And if they do, like I say...
Were they in the trailer?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
There's one part where they're all down, squeezed into a dark kind of cave-like thing.
Yeah, they were in there.
And Owl and Rabbit are in the back. They don't say anything.
Yet.
But they're in the back, and then there's Kanga and Roo, and so I'm sitting there going, like, now is the time where... my nephew's done, but at this point, like,
God damn it,
I can own them all.
God damn it, Disney.
Well, yeah, there goes, $400 in stuffed animals.
Yes, stuffed animals.
But that's what the Transformers should have been. I should have been wanting to go out to the store and been like, yeah, Transformers. They never made me want to go buy them.
No. They gave me that once in the first movie.
And not even then.
It didn't compare to the old stuff.
No, of course not. No, they don't. But now that they've evolved into like CG amorphous blobs, when they transform, it's not even that magical.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how you really screw.
At least with Transformers 1,
the transformations were good.
Yeah, like you could see that. It's just
now they just twist and turn, and all of a sudden they're a Transformer.
Yes, it's dumb. So good on Paramount, I suppose,
for canceling a cash cow that is
leaving a failing series.
I guess so.
I feel like financially though, every time a Transformers movie
they make a buttload of money because everybody wants to watch the dumpster fire.
Explosions.
Or you hope that it's actually going to get better.
No.
Explosions.
Never does.
Or big booms. But Michael Bay... Well,
big booms or big boobs?
Both.
Oh, okay.
Well, it depends. Well, Bay's not involved. You might not get either. He's working on a new movie, though, which is another kind of segue off of what we've been talking about. But him and Ryan Reynolds are working on a movie for Netflix.
I'm okay with that.
$150 movie action flick for Netflix.
Explosions.
So the writers of Deadpool,
done,
along with Ryan Reynolds,
done,
directed by Michael Bay.
I'm kind of okay with that. I would see that.
Explosions.
Well, I mean, if it's on Netflix, I will.
You'll definitely see it. It's on Netflix.
It's explosions.
And Ryan Reynolds.
Netflix also now worth more than Disney.
I saw that.
Maybe they should buy Fox then.
Maybe they should buy Comcast. So just
they just buy up Comcast. Speaking of which,
we got you.
We
got you, Disney.
We got that.
We got you guys. We'll buy into this whole thing. Speaking of which, though, Comcast.
So we talked about this about 2 weeks ago.
Something like that.
There was rumors. Well, this is official.
Yeah.
Now Comcast is throwing in their the bid.
Cash bid.
They're still waiting.
Yeah.
Because there's AT&T and something else. There's another merger that's happening.
Yeah.
That's being questioned by the courts.
It is. Same as the one that Disney and Fox is going through. Now, here's the shtick. Disney and Fox is a little bit more open because Disney is an entertainment property. Fox is an entertainment property. There's not really a whole lot up in the air. AT&T is a communication company mixing with another company.
Yeah,
which all of a sudden becomes like you control internet and entertainment. That gets a little hinky.
Well, with the new CRTC,
but they
stuff
own.
But in the States.
In the States, they don't.
But they already do.
Yes, but it's how much do they want them to control and all that stuff. If that deal goes through, the AT&T deal and all of this other company, then Comcast is ready to put in their $60 billion cash
only
bid to get Fox. Now I'm assuming Fox can still go away.
So here's the
that you'd be able to choose your.
So here's how this works.
Who's buying it?
Yes.
So here's how this goes: is if Fox turns around and looks at Comcast's deal and says, "Hey, that's actually pretty good. We're gonna go with them." Mm-hmm. They actually have to pay a fine to Disney. I think it's like 1.5 million or billion or something like that.
Oh, that'd be
not like it's just chump change chump change in this grand
for them. I'll take that kind of chump change.
But the thing is, they're offering cash, not stocks. Disney stocks is going to be worth quite a bit in the next couple of years.
Their stocks have gone down recently, but
the thing is, like, if
that's because they're spending mass amounts of money to make
stuff,
parks better, movies better,
and the thing
better,
is, like,
that better, which is just going to.
And from reports that I've heard, is that the people at Fox, like the shareholders or whatever, they prefer having a cash deal over stocks. But it's Rupert and is it Rupert Murdoch?
Yeah.
Murdoch?
His family, the Murdoch family.
They are the ones who are like, oh yeah, let's do the share deal. It's like that's what we want. And on top of that, if you do shares, you don't have to pay like tax on that or something.
Right.
Yeah. So that's another incentive for Fox to stick with the current deal that they're doing.
As stock, you technically don't have money.
Yes. Whereas if
you have
cash,
a piece of paper that says this piece of paper is worth this money if someone's willing to buy it off of you.
Correct. Whereas if
then they tax you.
Right. But with cash, they will automatically get taxed with that if they turn around and go to Comcast.
So they wouldn't be getting as much.
Correct. So,
and the fact is, stocks have a chance of, and especially after they buy Fox,
would go up.
Their stock value would pretty much go up as soon as Disney goes, we're making this movie.
Now we've got this coming out in the future.
This movie. Yeah. Oh, we're going to re-release the original Star Wars in their original format because we can do that now. Yeah. So that's cool. Like, have that. They'll make $1 bajillion.
Put it
in the theaters for a limited run.
And then put it on DVD, Blu-ray.
But that's what I mean. Like, in my mind, the Murdoch, like, whoever it is, because I don't think it's Rupert. I think it's one of his kids. Right. But either way, like, that person is a smart person going, like, stocks is the way to go.
Stocks is the way to go.
Because as soon as they own our properties, their stock's only going to start doing this.
It says 50-something. It's 52 now, but it could be easily 60. It could be 70, like, easily in the next, like, 10 years.
Yeah, you just have to wait it out. And that's my problem with stockholders, and it always has been with stockholders. If you look at companies, they want money, they want profit, they want this, and you sit there going, like, eventually, a company it can't make money anymore, or profit. I shouldn't even say money.
Yeah, because
you get fired.
Because even if you get cash,
they bring someone else in.
Not only do you have to pay for that fine, you have to do the tax stuff afterwards, and then afterwards, what do you do with the? Say you get 50.
And a lot of people are looking at it, going, Disney's going to treat our stuff better than anybody else is. Mm-hmm. Comcast is going to get it. Universal, we've seen what they can do with superhero movies.
They sit on it.
They sit on them.
Yep.
Or they
refuse to give.
I mean, at least with Fox, they try with an X-Men movie.
Sure.
Logan.
And again, every once in a while, like First Class was, a decent flick when it came. Like we're sitting there going, holy! Even the first X-Men movie was a really good movie when it came out.
Yeah. So was
X2 was good. X3 is the one that crapped the bed. So that's the thing is.
X-Men Origins.
Yeah.
There's stuff about that movie that I can't talk about.
I know
they kind of fixed it.
They did something.
But either way, so yes, now it comes down to. It comes down to the courts to see if that one thing goes through. Then it'll go down to Fox if they're going to accept, that much money in cash or go to.
And so here's the crazy part about this: if Fox does turn around and says, "Yes, we're going to take the Comcast deal," if Comcast decides to absorb Fox and disintegrate it. The rights for all of those X-Men characters, all those Fantastic Four characters, technically go back to Disney.
Yes.
Because their contracts...
So would that be...
If they dissolve...
If they dissolve it. But if they keep Fox working as an independent company, but they own Fox...
They would own... Comcast would own two different
Universal
TV networks.
Fox, yes.
They would own two different movie productions.
Right. Correct.
And I feel
But at least with Disney, they don't really have their own TV...
ABC,
I guess.
And whatever they've got going on with Hulu right now.
33% of it.
Yeah. So.
Because they all split that. That's how Hulu started, was the major three in the States were like, we shall start this streaming service together. And so they split it 33%. Well, Fox owns one of those 33%, which is why if Disney buys them, they all of a sudden own 66% of Hulu.
Yeah.
And NBC Universal goes, wait a second.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, I think that's where the fight is. So a lot of people are like, well, maybe if Disney gives...
Is it the fight? I don't know. It feels spiteful.
It's total. Because
Universal's already holding out
Comcast,
movie stuff from Disney.
A while back, Comcast actually put in a bid to buy Disney.
Yeah.
A long time ago. Disney rejected that offer, clearly.
I think it's spiteful. That's all it is.
It's total.
Oh yeah.
At this point,
I feel
we don't want you to own this, so we're gonna do it.
I feel like though, if
they found enough quarters underneath the cushions and said, "We've got the money.
We found it, guys." I feel like though, if they pull that move, Disney's just like, "We'll give you the same stock options, and here's 10 billion in cash.
Here's 10% more."
Or here's 20 billion in cash. Like, how much did the Avengers make again?
Whatever the
Here, just take our Avengers money. We're good.
Yeah.
Is actually because they have.
They could have a bidding war, keep going back and forth.
Which is what Fox would probably.
But at some point,
but Comcast had a hard enough time coming up with 60 billion, so it's legitimately like in Monopoly, where you get into one of those auctions,
you mortgage all your properties.
Have one person's mortgage all their stuff, and you're like, and $1 extra, it's mine now, and the person's going like.
Sweet. 60 billion in one?
Right, like in a penny.
Yeah, like I don't know does Disney have a counter? Can they counter this counter offer?
You can always count. I'm assuming you could always.
If you have the original bid, you could always raise your original bid.
Yeah, because essentially what happens is Comcast goes to Fox if they decide to do this and go, here's the 60 billion, and Fox goes, we shall take your 60 billion, but we have to talk to Disney first to absolve whatever we've done. So they go to Disney going, we must absolve this contract, and Disney goes,
we have this fine that we have to pay for.
Yeah, and Disney goes, well, here we'll give you 61 mil. Or 61 billion. And Fox goes, oh, okay, hold on.
We gotta go back to them.
Comcast, can you pull any more out of the couch? Comcast is like, no.
You guys sell off some properties?
We just canceled like 3 movies to give you guys this money. And it's like, shucks then. Sorry, bye.
Does Comcast own Paramount?
Maybe that's what that is. I feel like someone else owns Paramount. But that's what I mean. Like that's the weird part of this whole deal was I'm like, but they made a deal with Disney already. Like
I understand that it's not.
That's like me buying.
It's not
the ink hasn't dried on it yet, so that's.
But the only reason, in my mind, the ink hasn't dried is because it's in court going through its thing, and I'm
exactly
like.
It.
So you're stepping in at the last minute.
Like
I feel like this is going to Safeway and someone's buying like the last watermelon, and you're like, I will give you $5 more.
I didn't realize
you could already through the till.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just didn't realize someone could do that in the middle.
Me neither. That was my confusion.
That's why we're not lawyers.
I wish I could speak lawyerese for one day so I can read all these contracts.
You wouldn't want to read those. That's like reading those terms of service, man.
Well,
everybody's updating right now.
I know. I was wondering why all my websites were like, we're using cookies. I'm like,
because the EU changed a bunch of their stuff.
Yeah.
So that was Europe's fault that we're all getting those lovely, like, our terms of service have changed. And it's like,
emails everywhere.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. Do you want to keep using our service? Come and accept our new terms of service. I'm like, I don't know if I want to now.
You guys have terms of service?
You guys had a term? All right, cool.
Yeah, it's somewhere.
It's all those porn websites where you have to like hit the OK button. And, like, are you 18?
How old are you? Yeah, I know. I always love that. It's like you go onto Steam and it's like insert your entire birthday. You go onto some of those websites and it's like, are you over 18? Yes. No.
Yes.
The yes button is like this big. The no button's this big, and it's like, I'm confused. Yes.
Yes.
Try and confirm my age, computer.
That's what the webcam was for.
That's what I know. Eventually, webcams are going to be like, no.
Okay, the Blade Runner future.
Either way, I'm hoping Comcast can't pull through with this.
I don't know what's going on.
Or at least Disney can, bump something up.
We'll see.
And it's not just for the Marvel stuff. Comcast, as far as I can read online, is just a dickhead company.
Hence the spitefulness.
But that's my thing is, like, people talk about Disney being a cold-hearted company.
Every company can be cold-hearted.
I'm sorry to say this, but when you deal in billions of dollars, you have to kind of be a dickhead. Like, people complain about the parks nowadays, and it's like, well, it's not the same as it used to be. And it's like, well, no, because people are going there. Well, it costs this much money to go there. That's not what Walt Disney wanted. And it's like, okay, but again, you go to this park, and I'm spending $100 a day to go into this park. The rides are free. The fireworks shows are free.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The fireworks that, like, our city complains about having to pay for once a year for Canada Day, Disney does every night.
And K-Days. And
That's K-Day's problem, though. Like, our city sits there going, I don't know how good the fireworks display is going to be this year. We could only put in, like, you know, a mil.
Oh, there's a fire ban?
Oh, shucks. I guess no fireworks. We'll save them for next year, guys.
No, you're not.
All at once.
No, you're not. And then someone in the back's like, no, you're not.
But Disney does that every night.
Right.
Plus parades. Plus staffing a place.
I was going to say, their actors...
It is huge!
The actors, the maintenance costs, everything is huge.
Right. So for me to go in for $100 a day...
That makes sense. Or even think of, like, Universal. Universal's basically the same thing. Like,
yeah.
Universal Studios is massive. They've got Harry Potter. They've got
and other rides. Like in Universal Florida being because they're the ones with like all the stuff. You know, they've got the big Harry Potters and like all the jazz. Mm-hmm. I understand them. Universal California is a much smaller thing. The magic's not there. Like you don't feel like you're in the movies, sort of thing.
I'm interested to see what the Japanese Universal is.
Yeah,
because that's one of our stops.
If they can do anything like.
Well, I mean, the thing about you think about Japanese people,
they really hop into the.
They get into the acting. They get into the decorating. So, for us, when we found out that there was a Universal Japan, we're like,
yes.
Uh-huh.
But that was, so that's my thing, is you go to Disney and you still feel like you're in a whole new world of, magic and this and that and everything else, and it's because they're paying people small fortunes to make sure that, the popcorn stand smells like popcorn 24/7. Mm-hmm. The bakery always smells like fresh cinnamon buns. That's, there's some brainchild in Disney that sits there making a crap ton of money going like, what smell can I make today?
New car, that's all I want.
Which is probably in Cars Land and I just haven't noticed. Oh my god. But that's the thing, like...
Oh, it's in Spider-Man's suit.
There's that kind of thing going... there's that kind of thing where you go... Yeah, Disney's they have to be cold-hearted. They're dealing in billions of dollars. That's like a poor person going, am I buying white bread or no bread this week? Disney's going, am I buying this company or this company to pretty much stay relevant?
Fox. Yes.
Like, because they have to make shareholders happy, you have to keep improving and getting bigger and doing more stuff and all of that kind of jazz.
Yeah.
So, like, for them, they have to be kind of cold-hearted. Comcast, though, like...
They just do it because of...
Disney can be a dick. Comcast is apparently just a downright dirty asshole. Like, that's the, Disney's kind of like, oh, not so great, but at least we're not, absolutely deplorable. And look, we give you good movies.
Mm-hmm. Every once in a while, one will drop, but then there's like 100 others that are just as good.
Yeah. So there's that. So, I don't know.
Yay.
We'll wait and see.
Honestly.
Gotta wait and see at this point. Let's see what happens still. Cool.
We're not liars. That's it.
Yes.
That's it for our show. Thanks for joining us.
Yes.
If you like what you saw, subscribe to us on all of our feeds, Mixer,
Twitch,
YouTube,
everything.
Twitch,
Twitter,
Facebook. You know what? Just go to barrelrollnews.com.
There's a lot of information.
You'll find everything.
Find all of the links there.
But stay tuned. Give us about 5-10 minutes to kind of reset the stage,
recombobulate, change the TV screen.
Clothes, change underpants.
Yep.
Things like
change
that.
Underpants.
Things like that for our post-credit show,
where we talk about the movies we've been watching,
games we've
been playing, and other sort of junk we've been doing.
Everything else in between.
We missed last week, didn't we?
We
You two did. Yeah.
I already started on my list.
You should probably start writing.
I did.
I did too.
More.
I gotta write more though, because there's more on my list. I think
that's all I hit this week.
Either way, thanks for watching. Join us in about 5 minutes.
Bye.
Bye.